Welcome to the show, Mark Walmsley, a British cultural entrepreneur and founder of the award-winning Arts and Culture Network, a global community built on one powerful idea, which is choose people who will say your name in a room full of opportunities. Your career has been anything but ordinary. You played the Triangle at Carnegie Hall, performed a dangerous stunt as Batman on live TV, and you've even served as Master of Ceremonies for the British royal family. After years in music events, branding, and digital marketing, you've turned your former sort of side hustle into a movement. And today, the Arts and Culture Network connects over 175,000 creatives worldwide, hosting free speed network events that spark collaborations, new jobs, and even international art shows, entirely independent and member funded. It's fantastic to have you on the show, Mark. There's so much more to talk about with you. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do tell us more.
Thank you very much, both. This is a delight and an honor. Thank you so much. You've been very kind to invite me to pop on. I was asked on a marketing podcast recently to summarize my strategy for creating a global community of creatives of 180,000 now. And I said negligence, procrastination, and laziness, because it's kind of true. My background is in music and then got into brand and digital, but I really wanted to maintain a bit of a footprint in the Arts and Culture Network. So I set the group up on LinkedIn in 2009, forgot all about it, and it grew on its own.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got 300 full members. So as you rightly pointed out, Tom, we're member funded. We're very keen to remain a bit pirate and a bit independent. So we're member funded, so we don't have any advertisers, sponsors, grant making bodies, or shareholders telling us what to do.
Yeah.
And that's the way we'd like to keep it, hence it being member funded.
Sure. Yeah.
I love when you told me about the story about the triangle. You say playing the triangle makes more money than the violins
Yeah,
players?
it does. The triangle player in an orchestra gets paid more than most of the violinists.
Wow.
And that's because there's only one triangle, so it's automatically a principal part.
Well, yeah, that makes sense, actually, thinking about it. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what all the other members of the orchestra are doing, you will always hear the triangle.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, it's
Very true.
it's pretty funny, man, because they're walking in with their cases for everything, and you walking in with this little triangle. That's hilarious.
well, when I left the orchestra, they made me a flight case for a triangle.
Oh
Oh,
wow, you
wow.
gotta have
Okay.
it. Wow, man.
Yeah.
What do you think about conscious music?
Ooh, how long have you got? Conscious music. Wow. Um, well, I have a slight story about that. In that I had a cancer scare 3 years ago, and I knew there were pieces of music that could turn the hair on the back of my neck up and make me cry or make me laugh or make me angry. And so I created a playlist called Joy on YouTube. And after my diagnosis, I'm fine now, but I was very fortunate. I went from diagnosis to all clear in 8 weeks through surgery
Wow.
with bowel cancer. But I I would listen to the last 10 minutes of Mahler's Second Symphony, or some Juan Luis Guerra salsa, or Cinema Show by Genesis, the music that really, really can get to me, and make me react in a certain way. And I can't prove this helped at all, but I maintain music saved my life, because I was channeling the energy that I could feel that music creating in me to that point in my body that needed the help. And it may not have physiologically made any difference, but boy, didn't it really made me feel better.
Mm.
So if that's a good example of conscious music, then that would be my example, really, I guess.
Who would be your favorite conscious artist?
For some reason, Buddy Rich has come into my head. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, because, and I'm not sure whether he would count as being, I mean, he would throw people out of the band if they grew a beard. So he
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
the ideal. leader of a band, but I saw him at Ronnie Scott's when I was 7, and in 1971, and I went backstage and met him, and he gave me a pair of drumsticks from the top of his wardrobe. He said, "Can you play a paradiddle on my knee? And if you can, you can keep the sticks." And I did. And he said, "Yep, that's great." And I was 7 at the time at a jazz club in Soho, which was unheard of. Just before he died, he played my local theatre, and I went to see him again. I managed to get backstage and see him again. And I said to him, "You won't remember meeting me, but I was the 7-year-old kid at Ronnie Scott's in 1971." And he got another pair of sticks out and he said, "Has your paradiddle got faster?"
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, but yeah, Buddy Rich came to mind. I'm a huge fan of Juan Luis Guerra. That salsa just gets into my bones. So yeah, I guess.
Wow. Well, John Lennon, right?
John Lennon, yeah. I mean, heavens.
Imagine. That's a powerful, conscious song.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those. There aren't that many of those kind of songs.
Right.
You know, the ones that are so brilliantly enduring and enduringly brilliant. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Tom?
I just want to talk a little bit more about your Ultra Arts and Culture Network, but also the kind of, you mentioned the member funding. I just want to talk a little bit about how that manifests. Is it kind of like a tiered thing where members can contribute certain levels of funding, or is it kind of one fee, if you like, for all members? How does it work?
So most of the things that we make available are free of charge. So most of the activity on in our community happens across 8 arts and culture LinkedIn groups. LinkedIn has now 1.2 billion members, so it's incorporated, it's covered the arts and culture sector now. 15 years ago, it was, "Here's my resume, give me a job in a bank," but it's not that anymore. So LinkedIn is where we live, really, and though it's free to join and post in those groups. And I often say to people, "Listen, I've got lots of followers on LinkedIn, so if you're posting in my group, tag me and I can share it further."
Yeah.
The events are the next level of involvement. We've just done one 6 o'clock this evening. We had a half an hour, we call it speed introduction session. Everybody gets to introduce themselves without breathing, which is hard. Taking a breath. You know, I'm Mark, I'm the Arts and Culture Network. I live in Essex in the UK, that kind of thing. We record those. It's still going on. They're still there, but a colleague is managing the end of that session.
Yeah.
We record those short introductions and then we share that video to the group so that people can see who was there.
Right.
And we use the chat for sharing contact details. So those are every Tuesday at 6 o'clock UK time for half an hour only. We had 28 people on there today, and it's great fun. But so all of that is free, and we meet for an hour on the 3rd Thursday of the month for a global session, and we meet in London, and we have an ambassador in New York City who hosts drinks parties for our members in New York.
Yeah.
Those events are all free to attend.
Yeah.
But we need to pay the bills, obviously. It's just me and my colleague Isabel on a Friday, but the full member option is only £10 a month, which I think is around $13.
Right.
It's a coffee and a muffin. Okay. And
yeah, indeed.
we wanted to keep it low for people who weren't working or for students. Or you can opt to pay £100 a year, which is 20% less.
Yeah.
But when someone joins us as a full member, I interview them. We write a profile about them on the website. That interview goes on YouTube and is embedded into the profile. We go on SoundCloud and Spotify as well, and LinkedIn. We then do a member matchmaking session where we match that member up with 50 other fellow group members who could help them out.
Wow. Okay.
So a visual artist might want galleries in Paris. A writer might want a publisher in New York.
Yeah.
We can do that because they're all in the community, and those connections are already warm because of the group.
Sure.
And then should they wish, I can nominate our full members for Fellowship of the Royal Society of Arts in London, and the discount that I can pass on is greater than the cost of being in the Arts and Culture Network. in the first place. So we're getting over 100 requests to join the LinkedIn group every day at the
Wow.
moment,
Okay. Yeah.
which keeps me busy. But
Absolutely.
yeah, but we are a bit mission driven because I'm rather keen that the Arts and Culture Network should become a global arts and culture support foundation. I've coined the phrase referred democratic collective philanthropy. So the idea is that we'll donate more and more of our membership revenue based on referrals. And that's already happening, but because we only have 300 members, there are limits to how much we can do. But
Yeah.
we've found accommodation for orphaned street dancers in Uganda. We've helped somebody with their legal fees when they were left unpaid by a promoter. And we've contributed to 3 of our members' cancer fundraisers.
Wow.
So one of whom was left without insurance. So that's what we want to do more of. And we're getting there.
Brilliant.
Did you tell me you work with timpanis? Drums?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my major at Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London. It's not the easiest instrument to get around, but there were 3 percussionists in my year at college. One was a drummer, one was a tuned percussion specialist, and I was the timpani lead. So I got to play for Leonard Bernstein.
Wow.
He came and conducted us shortly before he died. We were performing his mass because the Guildhall is a music and drama school.
Yes.
So we had actors and singers. So we were able to do this wonderful piece. It's very rarely performed because it's difficult to do. And I got to shake his hand after he conducted us. So yeah, that was my timpani highlight.
Yeah, you know, it's got to be amazing because if you're reading, it only comes in once in a while, right?
Yeah, well, percussionists have a secret code that not many people know about. Most right across the section, most scores are broken into sections with a letter heading. So section A, section B, C, D. Other scores are like that as well. But you'll notice if you look carefully at a percussion section where not much is going on, we all need to know where we are to come in at the right place. So you'll often see everyone in the section will go when you get to that point. So if you lose yourself, you just look at everyone else and they'll either tap a foot, but they'll mark the section point. So you know, we're there. We're at A. But yeah, and you get into the habit of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2. You get into the habit of doing that because you've got to know where you're coming in. And there are some lovely, funny stories of people getting that wrong.
Oh yeah, like what?
Well, my embarrassing moment was I was playing in the school proms at the Royal Albert Hall in London, and I didn't know that the BBC were going to zoom in on me for this quiet cymbal crash. It literally was a crash like that. And I was about 17, I think, and so I picked up these huge brass cymbals and I got that ready, and I didn't realize I was looking straight into the camera. Okay, and I missed it. So I put the cymbals down and mouthed very loudly.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Did they hear that?
My mother was watching.
Yeah.
But the other funny story I had, if you've got time, do stop me because I could go on for ages. But
That's fine.
I was late for a rehearsal driving from the south of England to the Midlands, and Simon Rattle was conducting, and you shouldn't be late for Simon Rattle. I was in the percussion section. I got stopped speeding on the motorway by the police trying to get to this rehearsal. And I got to the rehearsal just in time for the start of the rehearsal, but the other colleagues were not impressed because there was a lot of setting up to do and I'd missed all that.
Yeah.
We were doing a piece by Varese called American, modern piece, and it had car horns in it. So of course that's what I got to play. It's a bit like American in Paris, you know. Bop, 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 bop. So I was playing the car horns, and the principal percussionist thought it was funny that I'd been done speeding on the way to the rehearsal. So he thought he'd tell Simon Rattle, the conductor. He thought it was funny, so he told the BBC producer, and it was a live broadcast. So the BBC producer told the rest of the country, including my parents at the time. So yeah, yeah, I got off lightly, but you can't be late for Simon.
Yeah. No, man, I mean, I love the timpani. I mean, what cracks me up, you could play a little part, and then you can go make a sandwich before you have to play again.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what tempo the conductor wants to go at, it's up to me.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Now you got to carry that big old thing around?
Yeah, I got a van when I was 17, big blue transit van for the timps. I mean, the largest one's 32 inches across, and then they get a bit smaller. And for some pieces you need five. You know, for Holst's Planet Suite, you need five. For the movement Uranus. It's great. It's fantastic. The feeling of power is lovely, but when you can get a nice roll, you know, you've got to have a pretty sharp single stroke roll to make that nice and smooth, that low note coming in.
Ooh, yeah.
Um,
Wow. Wow. Tom?
Mm. I just want to also touch a little bit on your work with artists and organizations to kind of make what they do unique. Can you tell me a little bit about how you go about doing that for people?
yeah, I get to speak to many of our members every day. My day is a little bit like a world tour on Zoom, and I hear their challenges and I hear their aspirations, whether they're visual artists or performing artists, writers, gallery owners, libraries, archives, museums. And one of the things that I've been able to help them with is exploring and capturing what makes them special.
Mm.
Because
Mhm.
as the marketing philosopher Seth Godin taught us in his books, if you're not different, you're invisible today. And 95% of the visual artists I meet on meetings are not doing anything that I haven't seen before. So I try and
Mhm.
help them capture something about their work that I will never forget. So, for example, one of our members only works with coffee and gold. I'll never forget that. One of our members, he's an abstract artist. He only paints for 10 minutes and that's what you get. And so
Yeah.
there's always, I try to help them find something about the work they do that is the bridge between understanding and not understanding, so that people start to engage with that work, whether that's music, whether that's visual art, or writing. So I have a formula I use, which is DBR equals NRT. It's my formula. That is different, better, and remarkable equals noticed, remembered, and talked about. And if you can find some way of you being perceived as different, if you're considered better for some reason in your niche, and if you're remarkable, people will notice you, they'll remember you, and they'll talk about you.
Yeah.
And then the other challenge for many of our members is the commercial element of what they're doing. We all have to pay the bills, but we want to retain our creative integrity. So
Mhm.
I help our members focus their finite resources of time, energy, and money where it really works. And that is quite painful for some of them. It's liberating for many. But ideally, you need one very specific product or service to the smallest viable audience for that, and do it through one channel, not many. And that helps them. And we've had some lovely success stories of people finding that they're being noticed and remembered and talked about, and people are collecting their work,
Mm.
or commissioning them for different projects. So yeah, I call it the brand reset, basically, because
Yeah.
part of my background is in branding. Um, my favorite moment in that period was I was asked to come up with a name for a flower shop in a hospital,
Right.
and I came
Mhm.
up with stem cell.
Ah, okay. Fantastic.
Stem cell, yeah, it
Brilliant.
was, they loved that. Yeah. That was the other one I was quite happy about was there was a girl working with me when I had a web design agency back in the early 2000s, and she wanted to leave and travel the world. She had studied as a Swedish masseur, and she was crazy about sailing, so she wanted to travel to all the big sailing centers around the world
Mm.
and do massage. But she was worried. She didn't want it to be considered that kind of massage. You know, she
Right.
wanted it was Swedish massage. And she said, I need a name. And I came up with deckhands.
Brilliant.
for deckhands for a massage service on luxury yachts. It's all above board.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. But it's
Excellent.
just being clever with words like that. It just comes. It seems to come naturally to me when it doesn't to others. So I'm more than happy to share that and help members get it right. So
Wow, brother. Listen, bless you for the privilege of your time today, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
it's my pleasure. It's been an honor. And Skyler, I know we've got lots we can talk about. And Tom, thank you very much for facilitating so brilliantly. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you both very much.
Thank you. Tom's going to get some of your info so we can pass along the blessings.
Yeah, just on that note, Mark, just really for our viewers, if you've got any kind of websites or kind of social media element to what you do, that maybe we can put the details in the description of the video here so they can go off and check it out and see what you do. Yeah,
that would be great. I think if you search ChatGPT or Google for Mark Walmsley, spelt like that, where is it there? You can't miss me. And Arts and Culture Network will find us as well.
Okay. Right on, brother. Thanks for coming on, man. Talk to you later.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.